everybody needs a little bit of French chic in their life. Everything starts from somewhere. And people often ask me where I get my inspiration from. Well, we are inspired by all sorts of things. We're inspired by a little ornament in a shop window. We're inspired by nature. We're inspired by pictures in magazines. We're inspired by colour. And I have a library of things that I love, things that I will never throw out, whether it be a fabric or a picture. And when I was looking for something one day, I came across this picture that I had been keeping forever and a day. And it incorporated this absolutely gorgeous big design. And I thought, I always meant to do this. So Simon being away and Robbie and I allowed to play ever so frugally, we decided to have a play. So I drew out the designs that I wanted exactly the way I wanted them so that we could use them for embroidery designs, sent them to my beautiful Jenny up in Queensland. And so this is what we made out of them, this gorgeous, gorgeous table runner. Now the designs are actually made up of two designs and they are made for a 200 by 300 hoop. And when Simon saw it, he said, well, this is great, Mum, but you're eliminating so many other people. So I'm going to share with you that Si broke down the designs so that you can go down as small as a 200 by 200 hoop. And from little things, big things grow. So this is just sharing with you something that is coming from this humble table runner. Came A Place in the Sun, in honour of Robbie and my Tawoon Bay, our escape in the place in the sun. And this is an entire quilt that is embroidered, quilted in the hoop, including the sashing, the blocks, the cornerstones, even the scalloped borders. And this will be out later on in 2011. We anticipate the end of November, beginning of December. You are going to absolutely love the technique that came from our little humble French chic. So let's talk about what you're going to need. And here's our lovely cover that our great Simon has designed. And we're going to tell you what you're going to need. What have I got here? Cutaway magic. Now we use this when we do embroidered decoupage, and that's an alternative that we're going to talk about. You also need template magic for perfect placement. You need Sheer Magic Plus. Anyone that does embroidery and works with our designs, this it goes without saying. All fabric has to be backed with Sheer Magic Plus, so it appears as one fabric. No movement between the fabrics. It adds a thread count to your fabric. It adds life to it, and it is a must for all machine embroidery. And of course our fantastic quilt magic, which is a lightweight fusible batting. On top of that, of course, you are going to need our beautiful rayon embroidery threads. We have 3 different colors in our flowers, 2 pinks and a green. And as we love working with working with silk, we did them in silk, but hey, our background is just cheap calico or quilter's muslin. You will need your backing fabric, which you can use any fabric you like that you happen to have in-house. So now we've dealt with the products we're going to use and need. For each block, as per everything we do, you mark your design, your blocks with, I'm just dropping everything here, vertical, horizontal and diagonal lines, which we've already done here. In this case, we've done diagonal lines. Now we're going to ask you to play and pretend for us here. Robbie puts in many hours getting our step-by-steps together, and somewhere down the line we have to draw the line and say that's all we can do. So I'm just going to show you how the designs look. These are not to scale. Let's deal with the 200 by 300 hoop first, and this is your design. So you need two placements for this. So you can see here we have printed our design out on Template Magic, and you've got to pretend that you have embroidered that design. So that is the first design you actually stitch, and the last color is that circle. And again, we're playing pretend, but you will use your Template Magic once again. I've just got to pull this off here. I had it all ready to go, and this time you're going to take this, and remember this design is actually that we've got on here is stitched out. We then place our Template Magic exactly matching the lines that are on the previous one. So I've got to be really clever with this. I'm not bad. And so you then know where your next design, which is that one, so that will be in the hoop, will go. Now you notice we had a circle there before. Well, this second design stitches the circle first, so you will know that you have your fabric placed in the hoop in the correct position when it stitches that first outline design. So your design is actually made up of this design and this design, and they are embroidered on the diagonal, so you get this absolutely superb design. Now what we used for our applique fabric was, remember we put Sheer Magic Plus on the back of our silk. We actually also ironed Quilt Magic to the back of the Sheer Magic, so this gives you that lovely padded effect. And if you want a little more padding, you can actually put 2 layers of Quilt Magic around at the back of your silk, and it really does make a glorious big design. Now also on the design CD, and I think I dropped them. Could you have, oh no, here they are, Robbie. I did drop some of the things down there though. So for those of you who have a 200 by 200 hoop, again you will get design layout diagrams. Then you will actually get 2 size layout diagrams which you can stick together. And we have dealt with this in lots and lots of previous videos, how to use these and the Template Magic. So each one of these designs here are now made up of that design, this design, this design, and this design. So you would embroider this design first, this one second, this one third, and finally the last design. Again, using Template Magic makes it very, very easy for you to embroider these luscious big designs. Now we have put this together with the Jenny join. I want to show you how easy it is to put this together. So the Jenny join means that your actual blocks and your sashing and cornerstones are cut to piecing size. So you put backing fabric behind your blocks before they're pieced, and then you quilt them. And then you will notice that the design has been outline quilted and quilted around the petals to make them stand out more, and then cut to piecing size. Now the easiest way to do your quilted sashing and cornerstones is to have your top fabric your batting and your backing fabric and cut a large square or rectangle, or maybe you'll cut across the width of your fabric to a certain depth, and then this has just been done with diagonal rows of straight stitching, and they're about 1 inch apart. And then you can cut your sashing strips to piecing size, your cornerstones to piecing size, and then you butt the edges together, pin them, zigzag them, and cover them with the lovely satin stitching. Remember to have the same colour thread in your bobbin as you have in your needle. You get perfectly flat seams. We have dealt with the Jenny joint in so many of our videos, past and present, in Jenny's Heritage, and of course you will get details again in A Place in the Sun. It gives you beautiful flat seams and makes these kind of things and even a quilt so achievable. Now, I also mentioned that you can use the embroidered decoupage technique, and for that you would need to place cutaway magic and organza in the hoop together. Then what you do is you embroider your design over, I'll just pull this, where's my one here, over the organza and the cutaway. And then you use your magic heat cutting tool to actually heat cut the design out. And you are left with a beautiful freestanding design like this. Now you can use that as a trivet, or you can also do the smaller version of the design and use that as a little coaster or something to pop a teapot on top of, or a placemat and a coaster. They're gorgeous big designs to do things with. And Helmar's, people ask me what glue I use. I use Helmar's fabric glue. Now this is a fast drying one, which we prefer to use, but there is one that's a little slower. They bond perfectly through washing, ironing and dry cleaning, and I can't speak highly enough of that. It's a great product. And this is Helmar's fabric glue. For those that are in America, there are plenty of fabric glues on the market. And in doing the embroidered decoupage, this is a pillow off my couch downstairs. All you have to do is get a purchase pillow, do your embroidered decoupage and glue it in place, centered over your pillow. I'll just move that around so you can see it. And that gives you a beautiful pillow. There are so many things you can do with this design CD, and it's just the glorious, glorious big designs. I'm waiting for someone to make a beautiful quilt out of it, because that's what I originally wanted to do. So add a little French chic to your home with our beautiful table runner, matching pillow and trivet.